Hello and welcome to another step-by-step how to tie tutorial video. This is the Royal Coachman parachute. This is tied on a size 24 Tiemco TMC 101 hook. For a tying thread, I am using a black 4/0. On the back portion there, on that tail, is some golden pheasant tippets, followed by some peacock herl, a small section of red 14/0 thread. We'll repeat that peacock herl. For the parachute wing, I'll be using the parapost wings. And for hackle, I am using a brown hen hackle. And we'll go ahead and get this started. We'll remove our sample and secure our blank size 24 hook. Make sure that's nice and secured. And like all good flies, large or small, it begins but with just a single wrap of thread. Once we get that cast on, we can go ahead and remove our excess. Couple more wraps to the bend of the hook where we'll tie in our golden pheasant tippets. And we're going to go for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 little fibers here. We'll use our bodkin. Such a handy tool. And we'll just go ahead and strip those off. We'll get that closely lined up. We'll take a couple locking wraps. Make sure that's the length we want. I think it's good. And we'll secure this down. And trim off our waist. We'll return the thread all the way back to the bend of the hook, where we'll tie in our peacock herl. Go ahead and tie it in by the tip. We want the smaller fibers as possible. And get that in there nice and secure. I'm going to take a few wraps here on the back end. And then we'll secure this with our black tying thread. Do a couple wraps just to secure that. It's about evened up with the tip of the hook there. We'll get that out of the way. And now we're going to cast on our red thread. We're just going to get this all in on a couple of turns here. Alright, we're going to switch our thread, get our black thread forward, and we're going to take some wraps here with the red, giving us that center section in between the peacock herls to give it that classic Royal Coachman feel. Beautiful. We're just going to go ahead and run this forward a couple of wraps, and we will secure it with whip finish tool. We're all done with the red. Hopefully we can't get that peacock herl in there. Here we go. Continuing with a couple more wraps of peacock. And this will just take a couple of wraps. And we can secure this. One of the things to keep in mind with these size 24 hooks is that's all it takes is just a couple of wraps of thread and you're right where you need to be. Alright, we got the pair post wing. I'm just going to go ahead and divide that in half. There we go. That ought to work. Going to come up from the underneath side and just lift that thread right up on top. I could take 1-2 wraps, gather the material to form the post, a couple wraps on either side, and we will post up our white material here. And at this point, it all is a game of tension. It's all about the thread tension. Couple of turns up, couple of turns down, couple in front, couple in back. Alright, let's go ahead and take our hen hackle. We'll go ahead and grab a piece off of right off of the hide. And what's interesting is, what would normally just be a piece of scrap feather or a piece of waste, when it comes down to a fly this small, it doesn't take much. So I'm going to go ahead and give it my standard buzz cut on the top and the bottom on either side of the stem. And we will go ahead and secure that in front of the post. A couple of wraps, and now we can secure it up the post a couple of wraps. And now the magical parachute. We'll go ahead and grab a firm bite on the hackle pliers. And again, it's all about proper tension, working with the post, taking our hackle from the top and working it down. It's exactly the same whether you're tying on a size 24 or a size 14 or anything in between. Okay, lock down my hackle. I come up and around the post a half a turn. And fortunately, but unfortunately, my hackle just broke off, so I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope it stays. Things can get a little crowded for the whip finish tool. So at this point, I'm going to bring it back to the basics and do some half hitches with the end of my beginner bodkin. A couple nice and tight half hitches. We'll get in there and trim that post here in just a second. But for now, we want to secure the head. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, let's go ahead and trim off our tying thread. And we can trim off our post. We'll get this one stray piece of post material out of the way. And to make sure everything stays where it should be, we'll add a little bit of insurance policy here. I'm using a lacquer type, dries tough in seconds. Smallest little drop, and we'll take it right here on the bottom. And the capillary action will absorb that lacquer into the thread and into that post. And it will be a very beautiful thing. So that, my friends, is a size 24 parachute Royal Coachman. Alright, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Happy tying, and with this one, tight lines.